We began this journey by taking note of the fact that the voweling in Pasuk Chaf Daled is ZICHRON Trua. The Shva format allows us to insert an of between these two nouns, and in order to maintain consistency within the Pasuk, that all three items, the Shabbaton, the ZICHRON Trua, and the Mikra Kodesh, be treated as an obligation, Rashi defines this obligation as the recitation of Pesukei Shofrot. This, however, became problematic in that if the intent of the Pasuk is to mandate the recitation of Pesukei Shofrot from the Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim, rather than a Zayin Chaf Reish Shoresh, the text should have used an Aleph Mem Reish Shoresh. To justify the use of the Zayin Chaf Reish Shoresh, Rashi, according to the Rebbe, adds the words Pesukei Zichronot, and in doing so, redefines this term. In the Nusach of the Shmona Esrei for Musaf on the day of Rosh Hashanah, each of the three cycles, Malchiot, Zichronot, and Shofrot, end with the blowing of a shofar. Inserted between the recitation of the Pasukim and the blowing of the shofar is a request, beginning with the words Elokeinu v'Elokei Avotenu and ending with a bracha relating to that particular cycle of Pasukim. The tefillah that comes between the cycle of Pesukei Zichronot and the blowing of the shofar opens with a request that Zachrenu b'zikaron tov lefanecha, remember us with a favorable remembrance, upakdenu b'fekudad Yeshua v'rachamim, and be mindful of us with a decree of deliverance and mercy. The tefillah goes on to ask God to recall promises that were made to Avraham at Har HaMoriah. And while on the topic of Har HaMoriah, we ask that v'tera'eh lefanecha AKEDAH, and let there appear before you the AKEDAH, she'akad Avram Avinu et Yitzchak beno al gabi hamizbeach, when Avraham bound his son Yitzchak upon the altar, and in doing so, v'kavash racham av la'asot retzoncha b'lev avshalem. He suppressed his compassion for his son to obey your request with a perfect heart. And therefore we ask, Ke yichbeshu rachamecha et ka'ascha me'aleinu. Just as Avraham suppressed his compassion, so too may your compassion suppress your anger from upon us. And in light of the fact that you are a God who remembers all that has been forgotten, ve'ein shikacha lifnei kisei kevodecha, and that there is no forgetting before you, we therefore ask, B'rachamim tizkar, may you, O God, remember with mercy, Hayom, on this day of Rosh Hashanah, the Akedat Yitzchak Lezarov, for his Yitzchak's descendants. The surface reading of Rashi, when he writes Zichron Pesukei Zichronot or Pesukei Shofrot, is that he is referring to two of the three cycles of Pasukim that we include in the Musaf Shmona Esrei. The obvious problem was, why does he not include Pesukei Malchiot? This problem was raised previously. We also have a problem with the word Zichron as opposed to an Aleph Mem Reish Shoret. According to the Rebbe, the statement Pesukei Zichronot refers not to the set of Pesukei Zichronot of the Shmona Esrei, but a separate requirement to mention Pasukim that deal specifically with the Akedat Yitzchak. This reference to the Akedat Yitzchak has been included in the tefillah following the cycle of Pesukei Zichronot. In line with this redefinition of Pesukei Zichronot, Rashi adds, Lizkor lachem Akedat Yitzchak, that these Zichronot are Pesukim that recall the Akedat Yitzchak. In doing so, Rashi highlights the redefinition of Pesukei Zichronot from the cycle of Pesukei Zichronot in favor of Pasukim dealing with the Akedah. And through a further redefinition of the word Zichron, we can justify the use of a Zayin Chaf Reish Shoresh for this act of recitation.